So it's time to get to work. I'm fixing the damaged fender. I have a whole new fender to go on there. I don't feel like working too much on this tonight, so I'm just gonna start getting some of these things out of the way so I can get the fender off. Man, who knows, maybe it'll go smoothly and we'll get the whole thing off, but we're gonna start tearing into that. Looks like the horn has to come off. There's a bracket there. Washer fluid reservoir has to come off. And then this air pump thing has to come off. It looks like an air pump, like a smog or something. That has to come off. And then there's a plate down there. Let's get started. Alright, so I ended up not doing a lot of talking in this video. I just kind of got busy and got to work and started knocking all this out. Everything was very easy. Horns, washer fluid reservoir, smog pump. Everything was pretty easily. You'll see that coming up. I'll probably just put this on time lapse and you can watch me bust through all this stuff. That would have been a lot more ugly. Luckily there wasn't a lot of fluid in there. Oh, jeez. work on the wiring harness. There's part of the wiring harness that goes through this fender. So I'm going to be using a trim tool, you can see there, and just popping all the clips to get the wiring harness out of the way. And then after that, we can move on to the actual fender bolts. There's 4 at the back of the fender on the firewall. I think there's 3 on the right side and then 1 extra one up above. And then you have 3 other ones that attach the fender onto the grill headlight piece, and then actually 3 other that attach the grill on the back side as well. And I'll show you that, or maybe you won't see it, I can't remember. Okay, so I just wrapped up the bolts, the fender bolts that mount to the back of the firewall or the front of the firewall. Now we continue moving on towards the front fender bolts. With the fender bent right there, it made it kind of difficult to accessing those bolts, but it wasn't too bad and I was able to get it done pretty easily. Okay, so with that last little bolt out of the back, holding that trim piece as well as going into the fender, that's the last little bolt holding the fender on, so now it's time to take the fender off. Okay, so after a lot of finagling and then finally just getting aggressive with the fender enough, we're about to take it out right here. And clear a few more wires. just like that, the fender is finally out. Yeet. Seeing the fender off like that, it just is crazy how simple Jeeps are and how easily you can work on them. Like, they're built to be able to be maintained. Not a lot of cars are like that, so that's one area where the Jeep really excels. Alright, sorry for the crap lighting here, but I just wanted to keep working, and I kind of just wanted to get that new fender on there. So I kept working, and it got dark and late, and hopefully you can see well enough. But we got the new fender there. It does take a bit of finagling to get this back in there. I wish I knew at the time, but the trim piece to the right side of me does come off, and I wish I would have known. I thought the bolts were just stripped, but they actually just had a nut on the back side, and then those would have come off, and it would have made this install way easier than it was. But all the holes and everything as far as the new fender goes were perfect. We were able to get the turn signal light in. You can see that there fits perfectly, and then everything else lined up pretty okay as well, including the wiring harness underneath for the turn signal, on the light on the front and the side. Alright guys, so the new fender is on right there behind me. Everything went smoothly. I'm gonna leave it to the full unveiling video before I show it to you, but everything mounted up nicely except for a few places in the engine bay. I'll show you here. So the only thing is that hole did not line up for the washer fluid reservoir for whatever reason. Other than that, air pump mounted up just fine. Holes are perfect there. All the holes for the harness to clip into mount up perfectly. Horns mounted up nicely. We've got, the only thing is I had to leave out, to fit the fender in, is I had to leave out this bracket right here. Yeah, that just didn't make it back in, but everything else went nicely. The only sucky thing is right here, got the new fender there. I made those scratches. Kind of ticked. I mean, there's other scratches in the car, but those ones belong to me. Yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, fender is on. Looks great. I'm not gonna show it to you. Hopefully I didn't just show it to you, but we're gonna do a full unveiling video, full walk around video coming up on this Jeep. We're about wrapped up with it, and then we can actually have some fun with it, do some off-roading, tear it up in those dirt roads, do some rock climbing, probably head down to Moab at least once. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, means a lot. Peace out.